Maybe I can do a session. Me too.
My eyes hurt. My eyes hurt.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do round robin so everyone can have a go at it for sure.
Absolutely.
We tried to go like VR, basically make VR in dark mode so that it's easy on the eyes. So.
That's not for me. It just hurts even more.
You need only to play a little bit with the echo.
The echo.
Yeah. No, the EQ.
Oh, the EQ, just to kind of like tweak it a bit.
Oh.
Thanks.
I mean the treble. The
Panel's holding you down today.
You can
The
see
bar.
your entire screen. Never mind.
What's up, Altspace?
What's going on?
Where's Nani?
Hey.
Nina. This is
Trying to. Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
yes.
Oh,
Where
right.
is Nina?
I think we're still not hearing Altspace in the call, but which is all good.
Where's Nina?
Nina's off today. She's actually doing a production.
Oh.
She got a production session in real life.
Where is she coming back?
What is real life? So what is the Matrix?
Is this a real life? Is this a fantasy?
Yeah.
Are we just caught in a landslide? Yep. It's an escape from reality.
So like VR then. Cool.
Twitch?
I can see you like
Okay.
coming into a breakdown right there on the waveform on the right hand deck.
Mr.
Yeah.
Get
So
that
the
playback,
question is, do I want to let this breakdown happen, or do I want to bring another track in?
I mean, if you ask me, it's like part of this vibe is the breakdown's going to be real nice. Be like a chill moment.
Uh huh.
Let's see what happens.
And because I haven't loaded up another track yet, I guess we're passengers together.
Convenient. Oh, come on now. That's good. Especially with the little filter effect to kind of muffle the...
Uh huh.
Yeah. And then you can anticipate the drop, you know? But what's next? What's next on the menu?
Well, we're gonna go ahead and get another track queued up over here on my left-hand side.
Funky Taurus.
Got an intro loop.
Does that refer to the Ford Taurus or to the...
That's
we're
a good
hearing-
question.
We're hearing your Q audio, which is good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's cool. With the loop, you don't have to worry about dropping it exactly. As long as you set the loop on phrase, you can kind of roll it. I see what you mean.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and take the
back.
Q audio out, just so that we're not confusing people. Now,
Very good.
Nice. I feel like the build on the right though it was building up to something, and we kind of
yeah. It was actually kind of nice that I let it go and let it do its thing.
yeah.
It was kind of one of those sort of serendipitous moments. But so I don't know how the rest of you guys mix. I mix a lot with loops, especially for this kind of music where I can just kind of have that groove going in the background, and it lets me really kind of get things set up. It lets me really make sure that I've got like my everything dialed in and everything sequenced and everything synced together. And then it lets me just kind of breathe a little bit. It takes a lot off of my plate, a lot of stress off my plate, as opposed to just coming in and trying to just push buttons and hope the beat grid's on and hope I'm hitting it in phrase.
Yeah.
And hope that I'm not like, especially if I'm doing it during like a build up, because every once in a while, especially in the housey, dancey disco tracks, every once in a while, just to kind of shake things up, the person who engineered the track will do the build up, and then when you think the phrase and the drop is going to hit, they put in like an extra 4 beats or something, and then you're like, no.
You're like, what?
I mean, I understand why you did it. It sounds cool, but for me, especially if I don't know that that's coming up, then
And
it's
you don't
like,
need to
oh.
necessarily. You don't necessarily need to hear the incoming track like right on the drop, so it's okay if it just kind of lingers in the background until you're ready to bring it in on the point. It'd be great to see you do it again, actually, like apply this in your next mix. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is pretty much this is Pano. This is Disco Jesus mix number 1. This is the kind of the way, like if somebody said, hey, what's the best way to mix? Like this is how I would recommend it. Let's see. Let's actually.
Pano playbook.
Can I go back one? So I'll turn my cue audio. Actually, no. So I'm doing the same thing here. And so I had that loop that was coming in, so I knew everything was coming up.
Oh, you did that so fast, actually.
Yeah. We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
And you're pretty much sticking to 2 tracks here. On channels 2 and 3. Nice. Yeah, by the time you actually bring it in, yeah, like moved on, you know.
As soon as it starts, when I use like parts of the song, I'm using a breakdown as sort of the end of the song. I don't want it to go into progression, then committing the fear of commitment there. I don't want to commit to that whole.
You want that flexibility,
Yeah.
you know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not,
So
you know, positive. Yeah, keep it open.
So we're back. So we're kind of back in the same spot. I've got a track on deck 3 that's just kind of running. It's doing its thing. Everybody's grooving. I just loaded a track on deck 2. And so when I'm doing this, I usually use an 8-beat loop in most cases.
How's everyone doing?
Which means I can start it basically as long as I get it on phrase or in that 8-beat sequence, I'm good. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be on the drop. But we'll go ahead and start it right here. Which means now I can go into. And now that I see this breakdown's coming in, maybe I don't want that to happen. So I've got it loaded up here. And now I'm just using my deck 2 to kind of keep the groove going. But I'm not touching anything else.
I love it when you like break down the facts against a song. It's all about Bootylicious. How exactly do I mix Bootylicious just right? Uh-oh.
Hello. And so the fact that I've got the bass out tells me that I've still kind of got this sort of breakdown thing going on. Because remember, I've still got the bass here. I could turn this back up if I wanted to. All right, let's get the mute button out.
Yeah. Actually, just be careful about streaming your master audio, guys. Guys and girls. We'll do round robin in like about 30 minutes.
Where's T-Sickle?
He's in
T-Sickle
Altspace,
should be in Altspace.
Okay. I done him a good review the other day, man.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, Billy Humble. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Dude. No, we shared that with the team, actually. Like,
nah, man, I meant that, man. He helped. You know what? Because I've never done DJing before in my life, and he helped me mix. And now I'm starting to get used to it, and that's all because of him. So I had to write him a good feedback.
Oh, sweet.
Happy, man. Nah,
There
he done a
you
good job.
T-Sickle.
He done a good job, man. How do I use the sound horns and stuff on the decks? I just heard someone do the horn sound. How do I do that?
You know, I think
That'd be me.
like a track. Yeah, that.
Oh, is it a track?
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
okay.
We got folks in Altspace. I don't think the Altspace folks. I don't think the Altspace audio is coming into the video call at the moment. So, folks in Altspace, if you wanted, you may want to jump on the video call too. the chat, or maybe Jake, you can figure out how to. Oh, here we go. Now it's going. Now I'm hearing double audio. I'm not sure why that's happening. But...
Yeah, it's into
Yeah, that's weird because I'm hearing double audio too.
But you're also in Altspace, so it could be you're hearing.
I've got my environment volume turned all the way down.
Yeah, me too.
So if I need to, I'll just turn everything else down. Oh,
But
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, we're good. So, so someone was asking about the soundtrack or the sound drops.
Yeah.
While we got this track kind of going, let's turn this down just a little bit. Let's get another track queued up just so that I've got one ready to go. Let's do a genre change. How about that? Let's get a genre
We got
change queued up.
Legends in Altspace. We got Plasma.
Is that
Under,
6ix9ine
we got
there?
Hits, we got shit
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
house.
How did you get that like that? How did you do that?
This is the VIP room.
Well, first I get some hair dye, and then I dye my dreads. I also have a marshmallow helmet that I can rock out.
Are you on a PC?
Yeah, I'm just joining on the web browser, so I'm kind of.
Oh, that's why. Okay. That looks cool.
I like 6ix9ine because I get the hair vibes.
Oh, that's a good. That one's good. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my track on deck 2 is just about to start going to its outro. So let's go ahead and start bringing in this one.
Oh, nice. I like it when you kind of tease it in like that.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was good.
That was dope. Yeah. Clean.
Yeah, very clean, and the energy flow is just right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've got this track going, let's pull this down a little bit and let's go over here to my deck 1. Pull up my visuals so I make sure I'm showing everybody the same thing. So what I have done and what I suggest a lot of you guys to do, if you guys are interested in this sort of thing, with the CDJ 3000s, we have the option for 8 Q points, yes? Which means I essentially have a hacky sort of sequencer sampler, right? So what I've done is I've gone onto the interwebs and scoured the interwebs and found a bunch of sound bites that I like. So let's just kind of cycle through some of these real quick. So of course you got to have your DJ name drop. I am DJ Pan0pticon. For those of you guys that don't know, I am your disco Jesus. Pano in the house.
Put those hands up. It's Pan0pticon.
Right. So got to have one of those. And then we're going to just kind of go through. I think this one should be for the anime kids out there. Got to have the anime wow. We were asking about the air horn.
For the non-anime kids, what is that from?
I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. I have no idea which one it is. It's just one of those kind of common sort of things. So yeah, we have that one. This one for those of you guys that have been in my workshops that have been with me for some of my mixes and things. Pretty much, it's not a workshop until the bruh button comes out.
Bruh.
Got to have one of those, you know, because every once in a while somebody messes up. Sometimes that person is me. Got to make sure you're ready.
I have a question about bro culture.
Yeah.
Is bro a good thing or a bad thing? Oh, it's shame.
It's kind of like the F word. It's good and
yes.
bad.
That's what I was curious about. You know?
Yeah, or
In some cases-
dude.
Yeah, like
Or dude.
well,
dude also works.
Is dude ever bad? Dude's never bad. Dude's always
Dude.
good, right?
Dude, come on.
Dude,
Come on.
dude's a classic. Dude.
Dude, bro.
Bruh.
Dude.
Bro.
You know, my
Party
oldest
foul.
calls me bra. So
Foul move.
it just means brother, right? Bra.
Well, the thing is that there's bro culture, which is bad. But then sometimes, like, you know, what do you mean,
Bruh.
Bruh.
My oldest calls me bra. Like, bra, I want this. So
Bruh.
I don't. A lot of kids do that to their parents. Like a lot of kids do that to their parents now. They call them bra.
Yeah, bruh. That's the thing.
Bro, where's my
So, yeah.
allowance?
Bro, where's my car?
So we're getting ready for another track to come in. So I'm just going to go ahead and start teasing in the next one.
Cool. Your camera's still on the.
Yep. So let's pump back over here for a minute, and then we'll go back and finish up.
Oh, almost like you planned this mix.
I assure you, I have not. But we can talk about that in a minute. Because I know that was something that came up in my last workshop on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. Show up or show out. All right, so we got this next track in. So let's come back over here. So we were talking about the bruh button. We have Hey Listen.
That's cute.
For any of you Legend Zelda fans out there. Nani, that's Japanese for what? Perfect. It comes out every once in a while. Exactly. That'd probably be the next one that comes in. And then very nice.
Oh yeah, that one's good.
So what I did was I basically went through and I pulled up all those. I think for my name drop, I just went to a Microsoft SAM text-to-speech generator and just plugged that in and got it kind of tuned how I wanted it. But I went in and then also online found a free MP3 maker and just spliced the audio in. So if I get real zoomed up on here, you'll see that I've got different drops with a lot of dead space in between. So I can play something. And because it's an MP3 file, that unlike a normal sequencer where you hit the button and the sound plays and it stops and then you're good, with this, it treats it like it's a song. So it's still playing. So you can still see the needle moving at the bottom of my screen there. But I have about 45 seconds. So if I'm doing a mix, if I'm doing something else, if I'm doing some crowd work, something where I can't give all of my attention to that deck, I have 45 seconds to come back in and either press the play button to stop it or press the Q button to stop it.
Because otherwise you might get an unintended bra, which is not what you
Unintended
want.
bra, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Now, that said, it's been about 45 minutes. So if a random sound effect plays, I totally meant to do that, right?
Right.
Yes. Everybody says yes. Everybody nod their head.
That's
Throw some
nice.
hearts in the chat.
Yes.
Yes.
And eventually we will have a sampler as well, which will make this all a little bit easier of like loading in some samples. Maybe there'll be something that's called a one-shot, where if you have a one-shot sample, it doesn't loop, you hit the button, play the sample, and then you're basically reset and ready to go. So looking forward to when we finish up work on developing that.
100%.
So let's bring everything back up front and center.
Well, I see some Ravesta
So-
tracks happening on the. That's what we got going right now, right? Is a Ravesta track.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It's pronounced Ravesta, by the way. It took me a while to. I always thought it was Ravesta.
And just like we've been doing, just teasing in the next track, doing a little bass swap on time, and then releasing the loop whenever I feel like it. So we were talking earlier about whether or not this set was planned, and like I said, I assure you, it is not. It's really,
I don't believe
when
you.
I'm. So this is a good opportunity to talk about mixing in key. Okay. I don't plan my sets out as far as like I'm playing this track first, then this track, then this track, then this track. I really don't do that a whole lot. But one thing that I do try and do is I try and kind of have a vibe set. So I'll have playlists that I've put together that have, maybe 100 tracks in them. I know I'm not going to play all the 100 of those tracks, but depending on the vibe, depending on how things are going, I might bounce around between 2 or 3, play a song, and then I'll have like 2 or 3 different options for my next track. And a lot of what I do is I mix that way using key, which is, for those of you guys that don't know what this is, up in the upper right corner is a key indicator. So right now I've got it set to open key, so it's using a set of numbers like 1 through 12, or I can switch it over to classical and change it over to C minor. I prefer using open key. I know there's some purists, some music theory, classical trained people, purists that like that sort of thing. If you like doing it that way, by all means. But
Nerd is the word.
I mean, let me put it this way. I'm classically trained. I don't use it. I like having the numbers because I can just be like, oh, okay, I know all of my 10s go together. I know from a 10, I can very, very easily go to an 11 or a 9, depending on what I want to do. If I want to do something that's a little bit starker, I can do 2 numbers. So I can go from 10 to 12, or I can go from 10 to 8. I probably wouldn't do too much more than that if I'm trying to do that smooth sort of mixing. If I'm trying to do something where I'm just doing a complete drop, just slamming 2 tracks together, I don't care.
Can you do like? Is there 10M? Is there are there tracks that are just 10 and not 10M, or is it always some like number?
So in open key you have M's and you have D's. So M's means it's a minor key, D means it's a major. So if you guys, for those of you that are in Tribe, I'd like to direct you to your main user interface right in front of your screen. If you look towards the top, when you go into your music menu, there's a little rainbow color wheel. And so you click on that, and that pulls up a big color wheel up above it. We're getting ready to lose some track here. So the next track that I'm bringing in, so right now we're playing this, it's 10M. The next track that I'm bringing in, come on, sync up for me.
Come on. You can do it.
Yep. I believe in you.
Okay, here we go. Release the loop.
Exactly. And so basically, so for those of you guys that have watched any tutorials online, intro, outro mixing. That's really all we're doing.
Which is all good in a way because the producer gets the full, you get the full expression of what the producer intended.
Yes. And for some of these houseier songs where they're kind of chopped up and remixed, it can get kind of boring, especially, I mean, this track is what, 7.5 minutes long?
That's okay for me. 7 minutes of Lola is okay with me.
Exactly. Now, if I'm playing out in the field, 7 minutes of it. If I'm sitting here talking to you guys, 7 minutes goes by really, really fast. So I'm not too worried about it. And it's nice having this track on here that's 7.5 minutes because that means I can talk to you all. And I can talk to you all and without having to worry about the track dropping. I can come in. I don't have to try and, split my focus as much in between the two of you. But, for, again, playing out in the field, I'm looking at maybe a minute to 2.5 minutes tops. And then I'm looking to get out of a track.
I like the way that you characterize it as out in the field. Like I picture you like in a truck driving out into the desert and doing like
that's what it is.
Desert raves. Yeah.
I think it comes from the whole day job being a field technician guy. It's like I have in the office, in the lab, and then I have in the field. Out in the wild.
Out in the wild. Yes. In the Magic Shire.
And I think you were basically explaining this anyway, Pano, is that so yeah, like especially when you're improvising, right? Like that's where the keying in key kind of helps. It's a little bit of a way to have a little bit of a guarantee that things are gonna match up. But
absolutely.
You have a better chance of things matching up, right? But we don't have to be too dogmatic about it where we can totally jump keys, but we just have to be maybe a little bit more prepared or take an extra 10 seconds of cueing and finding a part of the song that isn't melodically complex, so you can jump from a 6 to a 12. Totally, you can always do that, but it's just maybe you're investing a little more time into it.
Exactly. So it's one of those and that's like I said, when I'm playing a track, basically instead of having my entire set list as an option to me, it helps narrow things down. So I might only have 2 or 3 really good options, and it's like, okay, I don't have to think about it as much. I'm not as paralyzed for choice.
It also depends on genre too, because with like a lot of like kind of hypnotic techno or something, I'm totally, you know, not giving any shit about what's going on with the key, you know, and it's fine. This kind of atonal genres, especially.
Right.
I'm hearing some music in the background.
Yeah, I'm hearing something.
Is that in?
Got it.
Yeah. Wait, now I don't hear anything.
You should still hear me.
I still hear you. I hear you.
Okay. That was weird.
We got some fresh people. Speaking of fresh people in Altspace, we got Tommy Fresh in the house.
Fresh
Welcome.
faces. Tommy.
Yeah, we got Jose in here. Welcome. One thing I want to throw out there before I forget too is this week coming up, we're gonna do something called Trance Week Tribe, and we're gonna just kind of focus on that genre a little bit with a couple events and workshops. And we have the man himself, Is Radio, DJ Is gonna be playing at Tribe Club, where we're doing trance night only.
Nice.
We're doing a trance genre thing. Is gonna be spinning for us, as well as Atomic.
We also have a show coming up. Yep. We also have a show coming up with Core Games, which is cool. I think we can talk about that now publicly. June 1st. Illuminati, are you? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I was asked to do a set for Core Games. I believe it's going to be a 2-hour set. It's a video game platform that basically allows users and creators, content creators, to make their own games fairly simply. And so it's PC only, unfortunately, no VR, but we're going to be doing a party in a water park and listening to some throwbacks and some house.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You got your playlist sorted out?
Nope.
Nope.
It's on Wednesday, so I have a couple of days to think about it.
Yep. And yeah, Core Games is a little bit like, I would say, like Fortnite meets Roadblocks kind of thing. They got the aesthetic of Fortnite, and they have that creator community of Roblox.
Yeah, I played some games in there. I played like mini golf. I played a survival game that was kind of reminiscent of another game I play called 7 Days to Die. And I think they had like mystery games and all sorts of stuff in there, so it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. And there's an event, it's for an event like the Epic Mega Sale or something like that. I didn't quite catch what the context of it was, but I think it's something like that, so there should be some fun awareness about it. And if others ever want to do it, they got to set up with our own world that has live streaming capabilities, so we can live stream into the space. So if we want to do shows in there, we can do that at some point as well.
Hey, Ozone.
Yo.
So, for the people that are new to the mix, or difference between your text that you would do as a DJ himself, what would most DJs enjoy doing when you're doing the filters to the left of the mixer versus the right?
The pop to the left versus the right, you say? I didn't quite catch that last part.
Yeah, so somebody asked me the other day when I was at an open room, they're like, you as a DJ, why do you prefer using the effects on the right or than using, like, you know, the effects on the left?
Do you mean
I
color
see what
effects
you mean.
versus the beat effects?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's look at that.
Yeah, Pano, dive in. We could also kind of give our various preferences of why we do that, but Pano, please.
Yeah, give me just a minute. Let's go ahead and get this next track queued up here. But, so I use both. I like using both. They both have their place. Let's get this cleaned up.
Parallel.
Nope, that was not what I wanted.
Whoops.
Hold on.
You're all pause that shit.
So I guess while you do that, I'll give my brief answer.
Yeah.
Is that I guess the two the main thing is, I mean, this is overgeneralizing because you can use them in so many different ways, but one thing I would say is that the color effects are, it's kind of in the name, right? It's giving color to the track itself, and it's usually for the purposes of smoothing over a mix. So it's usually in transition. Obviously, that's a total rule of thumb and a generalization. But beat effects can be a little more creative, and because it has beat in the name, it's about being in the beat and you know, following along with the beat. So that's almost to me like adding in your own creativity or your own like spice. I think that's the analogy that Hapa uses is spice, right? It's putting the mix is almost done, and maybe even, you know, not even as a transition, but like right in the middle of something, you're adding your own little creative flair, your own little salt or pepper at the end of the dish. And you know, it's not about when you're cooking it, when you're taking it in and out of the oven, but it's that final piece that you're putting in, which is also a great analogy because you can always over salt something. You can always over spice it at the end. And sometimes you just have to leave the amazing ingredients alone to like do their thing. So you got to be careful at the same time.
Absolutely.
One question I have is that there are, I believe there's an echo on both the color effects and the beat effects. And
yes,
and I've never actually understood the difference between the two. You know, they sound very, very similar. So that maybe, I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
So the dub echo on the color effects, let's go ahead and just pull that up and let's see what that looks like. So I've got dub echo selected, right? And let's just, you hear that sort of like clicking, I guess, almost like a sprinkler, I think is kind of the best way to describe it. That sprinkler sort of sound to it is what that dub echo gives. And I can change the intensity of that with this knob here, which to be honest, most of the time I just kind of leave that knob alone. But I can also turn, and I still get that echo, but I get it with less of that click if I turn it to the left. So you notice I got it all the way to the left.
I noticed it sounded really good. That's one thing.
Yeah.
No,
in that
moment.
moment.
It has a very musical quality. It's like dub, you know, just like dub reggae, like that whole kind of messing with effects in the studio. But I think what it is that so the more you turn it left or right, it's changing the time, right? With beat effects, we just want to be locked into the time, maybe half, quarter, you know, one thing. Whereas dub echo, that's the interesting thing. You're going out of the time. You're going totally, you know, beyond what the beat is. So that's giving it an interesting flavor to it. And it's also, I think with dub echo, it's also putting a little filter on it as well, which gives it a kind of that signature, like, you know, reggae sound. Because as you're turning it, it's also putting a filter. So it's like a little bit of a more complicated rather than a pure beat effects, which is like literally repeat this at this point at the every quarter beat, and then this is how long it's going to be. That's like beat effects. Dub echo is great because it's musical, but it also is like limited in a sense, like it does one thing very well.
Fun fact: the dub from Dub Echo, from back in the day when the reggae guys were doing their recording and applying effects, they literally doubled the discs, and then they would play them, you know, record double discs on top, and that's where the term dub comes from double.
What?
Yeah.
The more you know.
The
which is, yeah, it's interesting. They have the dub plates that they would make for their show. They would make it, and it would just be like for that one show, because that's all. They would only last for like a couple of plays before they'd break. So they're incredibly rare. And so they would literally print it onto the vinyl and know that it was going to break, but they were just using it for that one show that night to be the best possible DJ. It was a real competitive, you know, the competition led to a lot of that, you know, that DJ competition led to a lot of interesting things, you know, innovation there.
Almost like breaking the mold, doing something awesome and then breaking the mold.
Yeah, like almost literally, but...
Then there's also the fact that there's a reverb on the beat effect, which is a little bit surprising because reverb just sounds like a very tonal kind of colory sort of effect, you would think, but I guess...
Actually,
well, let's put it on.
The bass are almost very similar. They might even be the same on here, I don't know. question I have.
So I've got the reverb turned. I've got the reverb turned way up.
You can also adjust the frequency of it, of course. Right now it's set to, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think reverb is one of those ones where I think it's not so much a time thing, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, so let's not
I'm not sure.
talk out of turn. But
Well,
let's
just the way it
adjust
sounds and feels, yeah.
I do have another fun fact about reggae and dub culture. Is that a lot of times so it was very competitive, and they would like obviously bring these dub plates, and they would like just make them that day, and make these tracks specifically to win these like battles basically, and they would also bring their own sound systems. They wouldn't even share sound systems because that was part of the competition. They would go to they would set their sound systems up all around, and then you would go from one to another. So that was another part of the competition. Not only the tracks that you were playing, but how good, how deep could that bass go, or how loud could it be?
Yeah. I heard this rumor they also smoked a lot of marijuana.
I've heard that.
No.
I believe it's only a rumor.
Rumor, but sometimes there's truth to these rumors. So, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Specific kind of smoke, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. I hear this. I hear the sound. Look at that tease.
See here at the Sunday workshop, we like to have fun, but we also like to learn. That's the thing.
Yeah, we like to. It's fun. It's edutainment.
Edutainment. That's
edutainment.
I've said this for the longest time. This is an edutainment software.
This is edutainment
That's
software.
right.
Nerd coined it.
It's not a game. It's not an app. It's edutainment.
It's not a
software.
toy. Toys are for children.
That's right.
Well, there's some.
Well,
there's
some of you might.
there's children around here.
There's what? What?
There's children that are also.
We won't call names.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I'm being sorry. That was a misplaced thing. I was quoting Rise of the Phoenix, where the plane crashes in the desert, and they're all stranded, and there's a guy who's a model airplane maker, and he's the one who's like designated to rebuild the plane, and only at the end they reveals that he's actually not a real like plane maker. He's a model airplane maker. He said, "What? You're a model airplane maker? You make toys?" And he goes, "I do not make toys, I make model airplanes. Toys are for children."
Get to the chopper.
Get into the chopper.
Yeah, edutainment,
But yes.
infotainment.
Edutainment.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, fun while we learn.
We're tricking you into learning. That's what we're doing.
And yes, we're anticipating the next track. We're also pushing up just past the half-hour mark here.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know if we're looking to do some round robin-y stuff.
What were we talking about actually before we started goofing around? We were talking about music theory. Oh, the effects. So
beat effects and color effects. Yeah.
yeah. So having said all that, I am curious about the like when to use the sort of the color effects versus the beat effects. It does seem like the color effects are more sort of tonal, and they do add a little sugar and spice, whereas like the beat effects have a bit more of a like the affects the DNA of the track more intensely because it really
Color
affects the
effects
rhythm of
also
it.
are like quicker to use. Like if you just want to kind of add a little bit of a something, and you can do it for a little bit for each track where you can dial it in, right? You're like on that channel, you can have track 1 or 3 you'd be working with and adding filter to that. Whereas beat effects, it's like either all or one channel. So that's like another.
Yep. Well, just a teaser for. Yep. Yeah. I was gonna say just as a teaser of upcoming features, we have the V10 now in QA. Actually, basically in alpha. If you guys want to check it out, we can get you set up with it. It's very, very dope. And oh my god, dude, what'd you just do? That was like a little pro move. How'd you do that? That was awesome. Sneaky devil. The V10 has dedicated filters, dedicated knobs for the filter effect, and a separate panel for the color effects we call send effects. And I think you guys will really enjoy it because it does make working with effects more easy and accessible. The deck looks more complex at a glance. It's got 6 channels and a bunch more knobs and everything, but once you get oriented, it'll be really good, really fun. Pan0 keeps blowing my mind with scratch effects.
So,
you can tweak the parameters of it. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. I mean, I'm playing. It's kind of, at least for the next couple minutes, my show, and I think I would be remiss if I didn't throw down the signature move, the Pan0 slide.
Pan0 slide,
which is essentially just a vinyl break. So I have my master tempo turned off so that when things happen, I get the pitch bend effect. I have my vinyl speed adjustment turned up just a little bit, and that's the part that you kind of have to tune in based on what you're playing and how fast you're going. But basically what I don't want it to just stop and then start back up. I want to turn it up just a little bit so that I get not too much, or else you get that instead.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find that sweet spot, which for me is usually right about here.
That's funny. Isn't that cool? But how'd you keep it in beat?
So that's the important part. I'm getting the finger out.
Get the finger out.
Limo, baby.
A lot of people don't mess with this button right here, and that's slip. Okay, so you got your quantize up here. Just to the left of that is slip. Without that, this thing doesn't work. So what that does is that allows me, when I press the play button, it allows the track to actually keep going behind. And then when I push play again, it syncs everything back up for me.
There must be some window. That's incredible. I'm going to use a lot of that. Yes.
It's really cool because you can.
Although,
mess around
isn't
with
there some window?
Stuff.
Yeah.
And then not have to worry that you're throwing everything off. You can do this also with looping. You could do it with hot cues. You could do it with the jog wheel.
Yeah. So actually, so take a look. You'll see my slip button is flashing because I'm running a loop because I'm actually running out of time. You see 2 needles. That is not a bug. That is a feature.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So the track has ended, but if I push play, it would have snapped over to that needle that was still moving. That's kind of like a more exaggerated version of, or a more exaggerated example of what slip does. So now I have this.
The thing that surprises me is that when you click pause, don't you release the slip thing? It doesn't just. When does it? So you can
pressing
pause for like
pause,
straight up 10 seconds, and it'll click play, and it'll just continue.
And it'll go where it would have been. Yes.
Holy
which is also
macaroni.
Which is also great if you're somebody that wants to scratch like me, but can't. So I can. I can kind of. Oh, I think with the loop it's going to be different, but if I'm playing, I can actually have another track going outside of a loop, scratch, and then have everything sync right back up. So I don't have to worry about beat juggling.
Maybe it's one thing.
Are we sharing today or no?
Oh yeah, you want to do it? Just dive right into it.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes. We can do that. But yeah,
is that Bianca?
Amazing.
That wasn't Bianca.
I want to share, but I don't know if we're not sharing today because it's almost finished.
Bianca, are you queued up?
Yes, I am. I've been waiting this whole time.
All right.
I've been waiting.
Well then. Well then, let's queue up a nice sort of outro for me. So let's set up some echo. Make sure echo's on the right channel.
Oh yeah.
Pan0, man.
Oh yeah.
What's up with that? Blowing minds.
Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Obi-Wan Ninja.
All right, Bianca.
Hey, Bianca.
Well, then, if you don't mind, I'm gonna pop into Altspace for a minute and groove out.
Do it.
Just keep in mind, Pano, the one thing about popping to Altspace is you won't be able to hear people talking.
Ah, yes.
Oh, this track. Oh my god, that's vibes.
Hey guys.
Hello. You guys playing cards? It's a DJ workshop. We're just DJ workshopping.
DJ workshop.
Yeah. Bianca's showing off her skills. She's got some new tracks. Yeah. Who likes to move it, move it?
That was nice, Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca. Mashup vibes. Ooh. Slide. Super fat. That's pH fat.
Okay, let's do a quick spin around the room while we're here in the video call. I've got Adam, Virtual XP2, and the Brockstar.
Hey, VXP.
If any of you guys would like to share, it'd be great if we could turn on your video cam so we can see what you're working with. If not, that's all right. I am perfectly happy to let Bianca rock out the rest of the show.
Oh my god. Each one better than the last. We're like crowd pleaser. Yeah, working the trim, give it a bit more oomph. Damn!
When you have a moment, Bianca, can we get a top down or get the selfie cam up on you? So we can see what you're working with on the decks there?
Barnstorm right here, man.
There we go.
Cool how you have like the previous tracks still kind of rolling in. The retracks. Now I know why Bianca was chomping the play. She's like, I gotta.
Yep. Getting some definite big room vibes out of this one.
Yeah, exactly. This one's Rock Stadium. Track.
What?
Once she gets the V10, she's gonna be like, you must use all 6 tracks.
Yes.
Vocal hooks are great. All 4 still going. Rockstar! In the flesh, in the clay. Rock it out, man. Woo! Pano, I think the video called Pano.
I'm on it.
Here.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
You're an Adam?
Yo, what's poppin'?
This will be awesome when we get the staging update here in just a little bit, so we can just have to put that up front and center and not have to worry about it. So many good things coming for everybody.
And you'll see it.
So excited.
Yeah, you'll see it like big view as well inside of VR.
Yo, y'all guys see me?
I think so. Is that Brockstar?
It's right here.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Bianca? Amazing, blowing minds. Very nice. It's all of them. Wow, that's a good one.
Thank you very much.
Who's the
Thank you very
admin?
much.
That was great. That was great. So how did you prep for that?
Nice.
Obviously a lot of planning went into that. That was amazing. What's up, Miss Ratty?
I spent all morning, my whole Sunday, I was playing around with these tracks. So
Yeah.
I just went to Beatport and I looked at Bass House and I liked these and I started playing them all together. I tried different things and this sounded the best.
This
And
is so
I really
good.
got into it.
That's so
So-
good.
So was it your plan to play all of those tracks all together? Like, did you
No,
like I'm
no,
going to
what
play
happened-
this song, this song,
no,
this song? Okay.
No, what happens is I start doing something and then it sounds good and I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'll do this today and I might forget about it tomorrow, but it was good today. It was good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if it feels good, if it sounds good, it is good. I think what it comes down to.
Bro.
The benefit of maybe like the techniques and whatnot is that you can kind of break down like, oh, when it sounded good, it was because of this. They were beat synced or their energy transition. So then you can do it again and again and again, kind of thing. But ultimately, if it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a short mix. Like this is only 7 minutes, but it has 6 songs in it. So
Yeah.
6 tracks. But they all sound good together. It sounds like you're on the dance floor and it's like 2
Mhm.
a.m. and you're just like, really having
Going
fun.
nuts.
Yeah, losing your wallet
awesome.
like T-Sickle did.
Oh,
This is what
T-Sickle!
Mhm.
T-Sickle,
lose his
shame.
wallet too.
Shame. Shame. But I can totally picture one of those moments.
Is that what we need?
Mario.
We need the
Hello.
bell.
Yeah,
amigo.
shame. Welcome, shame.
Hola, amigo.
I can picture on the dance floor where you're like, you hear one of those tracks, Bianca, and you're like, oh, I love this track. And then the next track, oh my God, it's this track. And then you hear the third, oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, just one awesome track after another.
Yes,
And I think
that's
it's
what I wanted to-
because there was so much contrast across the tracks that, there was really noticeable, but they were, they in a way that fit, and they had the great vocal hooks. So there's a lot of color, a lot of vocals, but everything just kind of still mashed together real nice. That was cool.
I
If you
have
ever
to admit that at one point I was like, "Where am I?"
What the hell's
Because
going on?
I heard like a weird sound, and I didn't know what happened.
Well,
but-
towards the end, I think maybe there was a little bit like 2 vocals kind of competing, but for the most part, I mean, it's perfecto.
Yeah,
and
that
it-
when you go ahead, Bianca.
that hadn't happened before, so sometimes I don't know what happens. Like I hear something that I haven't planned, and I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
And sometimes it really, really works, and sometimes it really, really doesn't. And as long as you can recognize that and kind of have an escape plan ready,
Yeah.
because that's part of my thing. That's kind of like when I'm mixing a lot of my vocal heavy tracks. That's part of why I only stick to 2. Partly because I'm scared to layer up like that. Just because having those vocals clashing is something that just I don't like a whole lot.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of courage. It takes sometimes a lot of planning to really make sure that you got that sounding well, or just in some cases a lot of good luck.
Yeah,
Here,
I
yeah, a
think
little echo
because
back.
You know what it probably was. When you asked me for to do my top down view, that took a couple of seconds.
Oh.
And that
Yeah.
it was done in such a short time that time mattered. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's what it was.
Even one bar matters. Like,
yeah,
I was putting together some content for this new feature that we have called Game Mode, that has kind of like this Guitar Hero style interface, where you can create sequences and then challenge other people to play those same sequences. And I had done something in Rekordbox, I had planned it out, and then I went to go do it inside of Tribe, and I realized, and it wasn't quite working, and I couldn't figure out why, and I was like, oh, just this one little thing, if you don't do it just right on time, it changes the entire sequence and all of the downstream stuff. So yeah, sometimes you have to be real precise about it. So we got another 4 or 5 minutes. Anybody else want to do a mix? A little show and tell. Rockstar, are you new to Tribe? Have you DJ'd before? Brand new to DJing? Well, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Pano, what do you say? You got some final words of wisdom?
Do we have another? Final words of wisdom.
I never tried this.
Be excellent to one another.
Be excellent. Most excellent. Dude, he's excellent.
Let's. Here, it's radio. I got a special effect here for DJ Kitten.
Let's do it. DJ Kitten, you got a text for you.
I know she likes this one.
Hey, what's up?
Oh yeah, she
got to throw in a little bit of flanger on the build-up here.
White Wolf!
Yes, a whole 3-minute party. Woo!
Nice.
Pano's got good taste, man. I don't know how to characterize it, but you know it when you see it. Good taste. Well, just so you guys know, we have animated hosting support call after this. So the party shall continue. We can raid his support call when we're done here and hang out some more and play music.
Let's put the party on.
The thing we're doing, by the way, so we got game mode coming up. Hang on one sec. We got game mode coming up, and the V10, as we talked about, that 6-channel mixer, and then we've got this new video call staging system that lets you manage the video calls a little more better. But yeah, like if you guys want to check out the alpha build, hit me up, hit Pano up, hit Lee up. We'll get you on the right channel. So you can
Absolutely.
check out the latest and the greatest.
Yeah,
I think we're a little excited about it. Let's do it! The V10 is especially fun, especially with the send effects. You can do these trippy things that Lee has been exploring, which is sending just the effects signal from one channel into the next channel, and then using other stuff, like applying other effects and just kind of using it as almost like a sample or a loop, and just kind of working with it for a while. It's really cool.
That's cool.
What's up, Shane? Anybody else want to do a mix? Nerd, do you want to do a mix?
Want to close it
I
out?
mean, there's not that long left, so.
Is that a yes or no? I can't tell. I guess that's suspiciously like a no.
Some other time. Some other time.
Okay. This is all good.
Yeah, just to remind everybody, we got Tribe Club every Friday night. This week we're doing something different. As I mentioned before, Trance Night. Our friend DJ is here, is going to be spinning there. Atomic. We're going to get him up, staying up real late, bringing him in. But yeah, so that'll be really nice. Check it out. Friday nights, AltspaceVR.
In the meantime, Jake has started his call. Thank you, Pano, for holding it down. Great job.
Oh, one last announcement. Don't forget, every Saturday there's also the Eurozone, which focuses on the European side of the Tribe community.
Amazing.
Any Europeans here who want to get a shot at Tribe Club but don't want to be up at shit in the morning can hit me up and we'll figure stuff out.
When was the last event?
It was yesterday.
How did it go? Did you have a good time?
It went all right.
Yeah.
Let's just put it like that.
All right is all right. That's a good start. Excellent. Thanks for holding that down, Nerd. And yeah, join us on the Discord channel if you haven't already. because Nerd posts the flyers, the information on the general channel there. All good things. Thank you, Bianca, for playing an absolutely gangbuster mix. That was very impressive. Yes. So yeah.